Hi guys, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the M12, the Tier 7 American arty. And yes, feel free to stop watching right now and click the dislike button if you don't like arty gameplay. But I'm trying to ace every single tank in the game, and unfortunately that includes arty. Now, on an Ace Tanker I put up on Christmas Day, the Mouse Ace Tanker, I talked a little bit about curse tanks. Tanks where I just can't get aces. I mean, quite often it's very, very easy to get aces. I pick it up in the first handful of games, but sometimes I come across tanks that are incredibly difficult to ace, mainly probably just down to my lack of skill. Yeah, M12 was another one of these. The mouse was one, and the M12 was another. So I have no idea, I think about 150 games in this tank before managing to ace it. It wasn't that much of a trial because I was using this tank to do a lot of the arty missions to unlock the T55A, but it was still a lot of games to try and get an ace in this tank. And compared to the SU-14-2 that I brought an ace to you before Christmas, I found this tank just a pain in the butt to play. I didn't mind the SU-14-2 as an arty. M12 I absolutely hated, so it didn't really help the fact that I couldn't ace this tank and hated playing it at the same time. But the M12 itself in real life is actually quite an interesting tank. It's as you notice from the front of the tank, it's actually based on the M3 Lee chassis. It's got quite a distinguished combat history record as well, but it was an M3 Lee hull that had an open top design, and it was fitted with a monster 155mm gun. Now in real life it only carried 10 rounds. It only carried 10 rounds on the tank. In game we get 20 rounds, so yeah, Wargaming being a little bit free with the amount of ammo it's given, but in real life, as I say, it only got 10 rounds of ammunition. Another interesting thing about the ammunition on this tank is it doesn't get AP or heat as premium ammunition. It only has two types of ammunition. It has your regular HE, and then you have premium HE, and the only difference between the premium rounds and the regular rounds is 2 extra millimeters of penetration, 88 in the standard, 90 on the premium, and a slightly bigger splash radius. So you've got 4 meters of splash radius on the regular HE, and you've got 5.3 meters on the premium HE. But yeah, I don't fire very much premium in this tank. In fact, I can't ever remember firing premium in this tank unless I was running out of ammunition. So yeah, the ammunition choices are interesting, and as I say, it gets 20 rounds compared to real life where it only had 10. It's also one of the few tanks, as I say, I started running premium consumables on arty because I just hate playing them and it makes them slightly more bearable. So yeah, I'm running premium consumables on the tank as well. Anything else interesting? Yeah. We've got the bucket design at the back of the tank, almost like a reverse bulldozer. This bucket design, the M12 was one of the first artilleries or SPGs that were fitted with this backward-facing bucket. Basically, this was designed to be lowered when the tank was in position or the arty was in position, so it could fire and it would absorb recoil. And the design was actually so successful that it was used on a lot of later American arty as well. But the M12 was one of the first tanks to implement this rear-mounted bucket design, and it was nicknamed the King Kong. So during World War II, the troops knew it as the King Kong, which is something I didn't realize or didn't know about until I did some reading up on the tank. During World War II, about 100 of them were built between 1942 and 1943. They did see a lot of action in France, and they were very, very successful. They were used as indirect fire SPGs against pillboxes and fortifications, but at times they were actually used for direct fire roles and almost used like tank destroyers at times. So it was kind of more of a multi-purpose vehicle than an SPG, although it was mainly designed to be an SPG. But yeah, it's a Tier 7 French or Tier 7 American artillery, and as soon as this game was over, I sold the tank, and I'll eventually move on to Tier 8 as soon as I have enough credits to buy the Tier 8, and I'm crossing my fingers the Tier 8 is actually a little bit better, because the M12, even though a lot of people seem to like this tank, I found it incredibly RNG based. I found the accuracy incredibly poor. I found the shell arc kind of annoying. Sometimes it seems great, and sometimes it seems very, very flat, and it differs from game to game. And the traverse arc of the gun is quite slow, along with the traverse arc being not amazing. It's okay, but it's not amazing. It's better than the SU-14-2 was that I played recently, but yeah, I didn't like this tank very much. This is the Ace Tanker, so the gun is going to look very, very accurate, but in other games, I've played, I've fired 11 shots and managed to do 1 splash damage. I just find the gun to be very, very inaccurate, but it's aced, it's sold, and thankfully I don't have to talk about or play this tank again. So we're here on Sacred Valley. It's a game I played recently, and it's a tier 8 game, so I'm a tier 7 arty in a tier 8 game. 2 arty on the enemy team. And I'm moving into a usual arty position up here on this ridge, because this allows me to get shots very easily down on the B line. But even though I'm in a position to cover the B line, it turns out in this game I don't actually need to. So just starting to pre-aim, I'm kind of wondering whether or not that tree was knocked down. It's a tree that looks as if it was knocked down, but pre-aiming to where enemy tanks might be. So there's an Oni, a T-29 here, switching to Battle Assistant. Just going to go to work. So the enemy team are sending a lot of heavy tanks up the J line. So even though I'm in a position to support the B line, what's actually going to happen is I'm going to end up supporting the J line, because we've only sent a couple of light tanks and a 112 up the hill. And there are a lot of enemy heavies moving up there, but just waiting for someone to get spots. Unfortunately, our WZ-131 decides to take the most awkward position up in J9 he could, so he's not getting spots. Our Type 64 has dropped back, he's not getting spots. Our 112 has decent view range for a heavy tank, but he's not in a position to get spots. So I'm trying to help these guys, and unfortunately our friendly tanks aren't getting spots for me. So our 111 is hiding at the back of the map. He really, really needed to be forward and getting spots through the bushes on the front of the hill, but we're just trying to support here, trying to look for shots. And I'm going to be making a video coming out soon about arty, but I'm going to be saving the details of that until the video is released. But we're just looking for shots here. So T-37 should be an easy kill if he stops moving. We fire, and there we go. You can see the shot went way to the left, it went long, and we only do 37 or 75 damage. So yeah, this arty, I thought this was going to be another typical M12 game where I fire, and I can't hit a flaming thing. But almost reloaded. We've got about a 30-second reload on the arty. Now the gun itself, we've got 88mm of penetration, and we can potentially do huge damage if we can pen. So need to land a shot in his engine deck, and there we go, 1250. So we're readjusting, but as you can see, the alpha damage is 1250. We did an average roll. That was an average roll on that T-29, but 1250 if you manage to get a penetrating hit. So supporting the J line again, we've only got 1 scout and a 112 up there, so need to take care of some of these heavy tanks down on the J line. The B line looks as if it's looking after itself. And of course the Leva decides to move just as I fire, but again, that shot wouldn't have hit the Leva anyway. If the Leva had been sitting there, the shot went low, hit the rocks. Yeah, this is arty. It's just so RNG based, but I'm going to talk a lot more about that in a video I'm going to be releasing in a few days' time. So Leva believes he's in cover. He is quite well hulled down here, but we can still manage to get shots in. It's probably easier for me to hit his turret than it is his engine deck. So we aim a little bit higher, go for his turret, and we manage to hit for 400 damage. But again, that shot didn't land where I aimed. That went to the right or to the left. But we've lost our WZ-131. Now we only have a 112 up on the hill. And there's a Leva and an Oni taking shots at him. Okay, Leva is in trouble. He's almost dead. Do I adjust or do I fire? Still on a reload, I decide to wait Oni is staying well hidden behind the bridge, but this is the advantage of Battle Assistant, so if I wasn't using Battle Assistant I wouldn't have been able to get any shots on this guy, but as is, it turns out that he stays in cover. KV2, so we need to loop a shot over the hill, down into the KV2, and we take him out. So only 187 damage, but a kill is a kill. So now, while I was focused on the 1-2 lines, or on the JK lines, unfortunately our B line has now collapsed, so maybe I was a little bit tunnel visioned. I could have saved my shot in the KV2 and used it over here, but at the time I was aiming, or before I started aiming at the KV2, we actually looked okay on the B line. So now I'm just looking for shots. Our Stura Imel is in trouble. The Jag Panther's an easy one-hit kill. All he has to do is just drive in front of me. And we fire, and the shot goes high. So we are now in some serious trouble. But there's an IS-3, a KV-4, a Jag Panther, and a Super Pershing, all still hanging on the B line. Thankfully, we still have some tanks over there, but I don't know how long an Indian Panzer, an E-25, and a Stura Imel can hold out against their top tier heavies. So I'm just looking for shots, and I'm having trouble getting shots on these guys. So there's an Su-14-2 here. I decide the best course of action, because we weren't able to save the E-25 or the Stura, is to fall back. So Su-14-2 has just fired. Okay, two arty have now been spotted. I know there are tanks coming up the B line, but I figure, you know, we're going to die any moment. I might as well see if I can get a Bombardier's medal. Try and get 2 kills with 1 shot. And we go for it. And unfortunately the Tiger P reverses, but that's the end of the fun. KV-4 has now just been spotted, so our Hummel goes down. It's just the Su-14-2 and myself here versus a KV-4. He's on 1,100 health. We're trying to stay below his gun depression. I'm almost reloaded. I don't know how the Su-14-2 is regarding his reload. He's got 7 seconds. So if we can both hit him... Oh, Su gets a big hit, just 800 damage, and I finish him off with 300. So, nice little bit of teamwork, but we're still technically losing. Or are we? No, we're not. It scores 12-11. So 3 enemy tanks left, however 2 of us are arty. So I'm on 2,600 damage with 4 kills. IS-3, Super Pershing, and Jag Panther left. And they were all last spotted in the middle. IS-3 was last spotted going back to defend. So we've got a 112 of the Centurion hanging down near enemy spawn. There's the IS-3. And he's doing an okay job. Difficult shot to fire over the house. He's moving. Go for a shot, and he reverses into it, but the shot goes a little bit to the right. So 30 seconds before I can fire again. Our Su-14-2 takes him out. Now a Jag Panther appears. Still a missing Super Pershing that hasn't been seen since the start of the game. No idea where that Super Pershing is, but almost reloaded, going for the Jag Panther. I'm wondering, is he going to reverse down the hill? But nope, he's going forward, so this should be an easy kill if we can get a shot anywhere near him. And we fire. And we fall slightly short and only do 80 damage. But that does mean he can be taken out with 1 hit by the 112, and now it's just 1 tank left on the enemy team. And he has completely flanked around. He's on low health, but he's flanked around. I've got to move, got to avoid him, got to get to cover. So Super Pershing has spotted me. He misses. Su-14-2 is here, I'm here, and I'm reloaded, so... Oh, is this guy actually going to be shooting down the only cover I have? That wouldn't be smart. Yep, he's shooting down the cover. Not exactly smart. So I'm trying to stay safe. I'm auto-aimed, by the way, that's why my cursor looks funny. Oh, he manages to get a shot in, takes out my driver. So I reverse back into cover a little bit more. I'm a 1-hit kill. Is he going to shoot down the cover? I'm aimed completely at him, but he does. He moves, and we shotgun him in the face for kill number 5. So 3k damage recorded, 5 kills in the M12. So another tank bites the dust, albeit arty, and some of you will be quite upset with me referring to this as a tank, but old habits hard to get out of. Yeah, the M12, I hated this tank. I really, really did. I hated this arty. It's just too inconsistent. The accuracy was inconsistent. You're very, very reliant on your team, as you are in many arties. Just remember, this is an Ace Tanker game, and you're missing the games where I fired 10 or 11 shots and wasn't able to hit a flaming thing. I just found the accuracy and gun arc on the tank very, very inconsistent. Didn't enjoy my time in it at all. Very happy to have aced it, although it took well over 100 games, but it's gone. Never have to play it again, even though it's got quite an interesting history in real life. So just the ace, no other no other medals here. We finished second on XP. We didn't actually finish top. Well played to our 112, who finished up with elite XP, but we managed to do 3,015 damage, 5 kills, picked up 1,044 XP, but yeah, it's done, it's dusted. Only fired 11, and of the 11 we only managed to hit 6, so yeah, about a 50% hit rate, considering a couple of the shots were also splash damage, but happy with the damage. If you can hit and pen with this tank, it really, really hurts. The problem is you don't often pen, you don't often hit, but we damaged 8, destroyed 5, we did 24 base defense points, and earned almost 16,000 credits with a premium account. Would have earned more if we hadn't been using premium consumables on the tank, but yeah, I was playing arty missions, trying to get the ace at the same time. Wasn't my first game of the day, so we finished up with 3,124 XP. Yeah, M12 done, dusted. Apologies for those of you who don't like arty gameplay. There is going to be an arty video. It's not going to be about arty. Well, it is going to be about arty, but it's not what you think. There is going to be a video focused on arty coming up on the channel very soon. It's a video I've been meaning to do for quite a long time. It's a topic that's currently being discussed in the EU forums at length, and yeah, hopefully I'm going to get that out over the next day or two. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.